everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of 10 Minute Tuesday. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. In today's episode, I got my guy, Nash, in the building. Nash, what's going on, bro?
Not much. Thanks for having me on here, and happy to take some time away from my 9 to 5 to do something a little more entertaining.
I love it, man. Well, appreciate you. And let's go ahead and dive into this. We've done a number of these. So, Nash, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, everybody. My name is Nash Bober. I've been around for about 15 years in all sorts of corners of data. So started out as a developer, kind of worked my way up, ultimately into more like the strategy, client-facing, super consultative type mindset. And ultimately, that's where I kind of like to lie. So more on those people-facing soft skills rather than like down in the weeds, hands on keyboard day in and day out.
Love that. So started as a developer. Now you're, putting out fires, making people feel at ease, and doing all the things that come along with people skills. But at a certain point, you had to get your start. So what really compels you to even get into data to begin with?
Yeah, luck, really. So when I was coming out of school, I went to OU, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had a degree in MIS in marketing. And I guess I was looking back now, fortunate that my first job out of college was at a consultancy. And they had a really good rotational program. So actually we got to spend like a week or two in all these different practices. So they had like a, .NET and then Java, like a PMO, data. And I knew that I wanted a hard skill. I didn't want to just be like a PM or anything like that. But I also knew my strength was never like .NET or any kind of development like that. And we spent a lot of time at Ohio University in our curriculum on that, and just that wasn't me. So I kind of got lucky. I was like, hey, SQL, SQL is a language. That's something that I can learn and I understand. And it kind of just led me to where I'm at today.
Love that. So .NET to SQL to Excel to picking up different things, man. So I think it all comes with the territory. Like a lot of us just kind of like, I think I like it. What's this language? Yeah. SQL? I'll pick it up. Okay, a left join is what? Okay, got it.
Yeah, it reads like an English statement, I think, right? Like select this stuff from this place where this thing's happening. So it's like, it's pretty easy to piece together.
For sure. All right. So thinking about the journey of where you've been at to where you're starting, I love to ask this question to get an understanding of how, people have worked in their career and stuff. So thinking about this, what's been your least favorite job to date? And it could be as simple as like, I was at the movie theater and I hated filling up popcorn for people that came in or anything like that. So what's been your least favorite job?
Yeah. I was actually just talking about this with the principal of my daughter's school the other day. For about 2 weeks, that's all I could last. I worked at a Whirlpool factory. So Whirlpool that makes, washing machines and refrigerators and all that. Up in Northern Ohio, where I'm from, they have a factory. And I lasted about 2 weeks on the assembly line because you're literally just, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And I worked like a 5 a.m. shift on your feet. Same thing, like a robot, over and over, repetitive. And I worked with people who are there 10, 15, 20 plus years, and that's just what they did. And that's what they knew. I couldn't do it. My back hurt, my feet hurt, the monotony of it. So yeah, for me, I think I realized right away, like I'm not cut out for this factory line stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is brutal. I never did factory line, but I've talked to people, and they're just like the monotonous of it, and just the repetition, and just the pain and stuff is more brutal than people give credit for.
It's a lifestyle. I guess if you're someone who you know what you're doing every day, right? Like there's no variation really. It's kind of I come in, I stand here, and I do this. It's for you.
Love it. Yeah, very, very predictable work day. All right. So thinking about this, philosophy I live by is the concept of failing forward, right? You never really fail. You learn from everything that you learn, that you grow and experience from. So thinking about that, what would you consider your biggest failure, and what did you really learn from that experience?
I think, it's a good mindset to have. And I try to think of it. Yeah, there's really no such thing as a failure, right? So for me, I think kind of hindsight 2020, I look back and a lot of times I wonder, should I have niched down much sooner? So like I said, I started in consulting. I did have like an in-house industry type job, and then have kind of basically become like full on consulting bro since then. And in some ways being a master of all, jack of all trades, master of none, is good. It's good to have a little bit of taste of everything, but then if someone needs like deep Tableau or Power BI or Databricks or Snowflake or what have you, I never had that super deep expertise in one specific platform. So a lot of times I look back and think about maybe I should have really hammered in on one thing. And then tangential to that is Python. Like I'm an okay Python coder. Now with AI, you don't really have to be. But before Python or AI came around, like I really should have gotten good with Python. It's so extensible. You can do so many things with it. So a couple of those things I think maybe have passed me by, and I could always learn them now, but it's kind of like, where's the time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a catch-22 because I've seen the flip side where people are so hyper focused on one thing, like that's all they know. And so you ask them a question about anything else, you're like, oh, no, 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 I only know. And it's like you pigeonhole yourself too, in just that one thing that you learn. So yeah, no, that's interesting. And it's like, it's crazy because like, I don't know if you see this. So kind of a follow up. Are you seeing where things are kind of being similar, right? Similar concepts across the tools. It's just a different marketing and branding on top of the product.
I think so. I mean, now we're in that age too, where if I think about like Snowflake and Databricks, one of them makes, excuse me, one of them makes an acquisition, the other makes an acquisition, and then the other one makes another. And then, so like, we're all kind of reaching this nexus point where there's only going to be a handful of tools who have now just eaten everything else. Yeah. And like you said, it's kind of just, they're all doing the same thing. It's just maybe they have a little slightly different syntax, or, you got to click a certain place to go here. But I've always kind of operated under that thought process of, if you know the core concepts, right? It's just kind of figuring out in your world, Power BI and Tableau is a great example, right? They're both doing the same thing at the end of the day, but you got to click a certain place to do it here. And, you got to learn like DAX for this over here. So it's just learning those little nuances.
Love that. Love that. All right. So thinking about this one, we briefly spoke about this before we got on camera, but we're thinking about how the next generation is coming in, the data analytics and some of the hurdles they might face. So thinking about that, what is one piece of advice you give someone who's just starting out in their career?
Yeah. This is a weird place we found ourselves, I think, in our industry coming out. But the thing that I've recommended to some people I've spoken with is less about the real hardcore skills. It's more about networking at this point. So it's getting out and being visible. It's going to meetups, going to events, conferences, those types of things, doing passion projects on the side. So you figure how many thousands of kids are graduating every semester across the country with the same degree, basically. But maybe you've done 4 or 5 things on the side. You've built some apps, you've built some programs, you've built some dashboards, what have you. That's what's going to stand apart. And so I really think it's getting out there, shaking those hands, kind of being visible in the industry and hoping that helps you stand out.
That's so true. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna clip this one up and post it on LinkedIn where this is the question, but networking is huge, man. Like, you gotta network. Like, long gone are the days, especially with AI, where you can automatically apply to thousands of jobs with a click of a button. Like, you gotta go meet these people. It's so imperative for it to happen.
Yes.
So, all right. So tell me about the most influential people in your life and how they made an impact on you.
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably, it might be cliche, but it's my parents. They were like super blue collar, not college educated. But for myself, I never wanted for anything. And I also understood really kind of like the value of the hard work and what it meant to go out and wake up and do that every day. And there's a lot of times, I feel guilty where, like, I'm looking out my window right now, it's snowing. And my dad would be out there in the elements all day long working, and I'd be complaining because I'm like, oh, I got a meeting. I got 2 hours of meetings this afternoon. Like, it's terrible. So understanding really like the value of hard work and really not taking it for granted that I am really fortunate to do a lot of the things that I've done.
Love that, man. Shout out to the parents. Man, the boomers, they get a bad rep at times from us millennials, but man, there's so many lessons that we could pick up and get from them that are still relevant. So shout out to the parents, man. They're awesome. All right. Where can listeners find you at online?
Yeah. So hit me up on LinkedIn. Love to chat, love to put some thoughts out there. And like we were just talking about, looking to network, just meet people, bounce ideas, see what's coming up next. We're almost in 2026 already, which is crazy. Wow. So want to talk about what we're seeing next, and hopefully it's not AI. Like, anything else but AI would be great to talk about too.
Love that, man. All right, Nash, appreciate you being on today. This was great. And look forward to posting this and connecting going forward.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks a lot for having me on.
No problem, no problem. And then, as I said in the beginning, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Yeah, have a great day.